So we're actually at our third day here at Epic. We ended up doing 3 days because it was a lot harder to do all the rides than we thought it would be. Obviously right now we're here at technical rehearsals. Maybe it'll change once the park actually opens, but it's really hard to get on rides. One, because rides are closed, like today Battle of the Ministry and Curse of the Werewolf is closed. It was also closed on our second day, so we won't be able to do Curse of the Werewolf at all. And then rides break down a lot. You know, they're brand new, they're really advanced, so they go down all the time. So really, if you plan a trip here, if you're planning one day, you're not going to ride on everything, but just choose the rides you really want to ride on and go on them while they're open, because rides go down all the time and you could wait till the end of the day to go on a ride you really want and it'll be broken for the rest of the day. So go on rides as soon as you can, except the first 2 hours in this park we realized are crazy. Like, everyone rushes to Hiccups and everyone's already in Super Nintendo World who got there for early entry. So those for the first hour, 2 hours aren't really worth going on. We'll see what we can explore today. We're gonna kind of go and try and catch everything that we missed on the first 2 days. Let's have an epic day. Epic Universe, Universal Studio Orlando's newest theme park, features 5 themed worlds with a total of 11 rides and 2 shows. One thing about Epic Universe that we especially liked is that it's very toddler friendly. Of the 11 rides in the park, 6 have a height requirement of only 40 inches. That includes Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, Donkey Kong Minecart of Madness, and even Hiccups Wing Gliders. The last of which was kind of crazy in our opinion, as Hiccups is a pretty big coaster for little kids. So for kids around 3 to 4 years old, you can do most all the rides together. And obviously use Child Swap for the 3 that have a higher height requirement. Alright, so about early entry. We stayed at Cabana Bay just to get early entry for our first day here at Epic. Ended up being a chaotic mess. Didn't really get us anything extra. The reason why is because staying at Cabana Bay or anywhere that isn't close on Epic site, so like your Terra Luna and the Helios Grand, you can walk into the park and you can wait in line really early. We got on the first bus from Cabana Bay to Epic, so we actually got to Epic an hour before early entry, and there was already a line like all the way down to the parking lot. So we were in the back of that line, and by the time we got through security and everything, we were the last in line to Super Mario World. So to make early entry worth it, either stay here on site, one of these hotels, and walk in really early, or take an Uber from one of the other hotels. The first world we went to is the Isle of Berk. This land is personally my favorite, as I'm a big fan of the movies, and my favorite ride in all of Epic is Hiccups Wing Gliders. This land, like all of Epic's lands, is just so immersive, with some of the coolest animatronics I've ever seen. There are moving dragons everywhere, and the toothless animatronic for the meet and greet and on Hiccups looks like it's straight out of the movie. The Isle of Berk is home to 3 main attractions and 1 show. The flagship ride has to be Hiccups Wing Gliders. Many people describe Hiccups as a smaller Hagrid's motorbike adventure. They are somewhat similar, both without any crazy inversions or anything like that, but a bit of a controversial take on this is we think Hiccups is better than Hagrid's. Hiccups doesn't go quite as fast as Hagrid's, but it has way better hang time with that traditional roller coaster falling feeling. Also, going over the water and under the walkway, along with the epic How to Train Your Dragon theme song playing during the ride, just makes the experience that much better. Okay, so we just finished the Hiccups Wing Gliders. What are your thoughts?
It's big.
It's big. Everyone says it's like a mini Hagrid's. I would say it's like the same intensity as Hagrid's. It's just shorter, maybe a little bit, but it's really fun. It breaks down a lot though. We waited an extra 40 minutes because it was broken.
4 or 5 delays.
Yeah, and somehow a 4-year-old can go on this. I don't know how, but we'll see tomorrow.
Be scared.
Yeah. Along with Hiccups, you have Epic's only water ride, Fire Drill. Now this ride was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. We expected the water element to be a bit more than what we got. The main point of this ride is you have a water cannon and you try and hit specific targets and you compete with the people on the other side of your boat. Pretty simple and fun idea in theory, but a huge flaw in the design is that the water guns have pretty limited range and movement, so it's really hard to spray the high targets. Also, you don't get as wet as you would like on a water ride. It is a ride worth going on, but not waiting more than 20 minutes max. I don't know, maybe some of you have a different opinion on this ride, but we would have loved to have a log flume type ride, themed with little Viking boats, designed kind of like these, and it would have fit the theme great. The last ride is Dragon Racers Rally, which is an arm and claw ride that spins you around like you're flying a dragon. For other entertainment, you have the Toothless Meet and Greet and the Untrainable Dragon Show. We unfortunately didn't get to go to the show, but it looks like another amazing display of the animatronics and music. Besides rides, the best thing to get in Berk is lunch. For the 3 days, we got our lunch at the Spitfire Grill. Here they have the viral mac and cheese bread cones that you may have seen. You can get the classic that comes with goldfish crackers as a topping, or our personal favorite, the PB&J. This comes with a mac and cheese mixed with bacon and pulled pork, and it is so good. The pulled pork is super tender. 10 out of 10, recommend. Anyone going to Epic, try this at least. After spending the morning in Berk, we decided to move on to the next portal, which was Super Nintendo World. Now I would recommend Nintendo being your second or third portal you visit because it's super packed in the morning from early entry. But after a couple of hours it becomes way more manageable as most everyone has ridden the main rides at that point. Super Nintendo World, in my opinion, is the most immersive of all of Epic's worlds. As soon as you go through the tunnel into Peach's castle, you feel like you've walked right into a game of Super Mario Bros. There's just so much detail and references to the games everywhere. Nintendo World is different from most lands and theme parks. In most other lands, the highlight is the rides. Here, I'd have to say the highlight is the power-up bands and the games you play with them. Power-up bands are the wands of Nintendo World, but way better. Rather than just casting spells with random stuff happening, in Nintendo World, you use the power-up bands to play tons of games and find Easter eggs throughout the world. One big part of the bands is to collect keys, playing games around the world. You then use these keys to be able to play the boss level experience, Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. The entrance to this experience is right before the Mario Kart ride at Bowser's Castle on the left hand side. At the entrance there's a team member that will have you scan your power-up band and trade 3 keys you have collected to play the game. Having the band and collecting keys is the only way to play the game, making buying a band a necessity for Nintendo World. But with how many games and items there are to find, it's definitely worth purchasing at least one band for your group to fully experience this land. The world is broken up into 2 sections. The first is where you enter the main Mushroom Kingdom themed world. Here are 2 of the 3 attractions, with Mario Kart and Yoshi's Adventure. Yoshi's Adventure is a small people mover that gives some great views of the world as you ride it. It is just a slow mover, and not the most thrilling ride. Like, our 4-year-old, after going on all the other rides, was fairly bored on this one. The main attraction is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. This ride has one of the best design queues on any ride we have ever been on. You walk all through Bowser's Castle on your way to the carts, and Universal designed it to feel like you're walking into one of the Bowser's Castle maps on Mario Kart. It's unreal. The ride itself is a dark ride shooter, which, to be honest, we didn't like at all our first ride through. But after riding it a couple more times and understanding how it works better, it actually is a really fun ride, and the ending scene is so awesome. Let's just say, if you love Rainbow Road, you'll love this part. The second section is Donkey Kong Country. This is the second portal in Super Nintendo World that takes you straight into the world of Donkey Kong. There are more power-up games here, and the main attraction, Minecart of Madness. This is a fun small coaster that, using an innovative design, makes it look like you are jumping your minecart from track to track as you ride it. It is a bit of a rougher ride than most coasters, but still a really fun kid coaster.
Donkey Kong and his buddy Diddy Kong set off a while back to chase the Tiki Tak tribe out of the temple. But shut your beak, I'm getting there.
Super Nintendo World also has some great treats to help cool off in the hot Epic Park. My first recommendation would be at the Bubbly Barrel stand in Donkey Kong Country. Here you can get the Donkey Kong Crush float, which is like a Dole Whip with popcorn and a pineapple Fanta soda underneath. A crazy concoction, but it comes in one of the coolest souvenir cups I've seen, which definitely made its way into my man den at home. There are also smoothies you can buy from Yoshi's snack stand, or for a proper sit-down meal, Toadstool Cafe is a nice place to relax indoors. Here we'd recommend the Toadstool Garlic Knots or the Superstar Chicken Salad. And a word of caution on the Bowser's Fireball Challenge meal. This is really spicy. Like sauce, meat, and all, it's like eating fire right out of Bowser's palm. So not for the faint of heart, trust me. Now let's take a look back in Celestial Park, and the only coaster to challenge Velocicoaster for the throne of the best big Universal coaster.
Intense. So it's really fast. It like initially launches you, and then it has a secondary launch that gets you going even faster. And then there's like parts where you both are crossing, and you can like wave to each other. It's really weird. Like you're just like pointing at each other, and then you split apart again. And where Velocicoaster makes you feel like you're flying out of your seat all the time, this one like throws you out of your seat. So it's not like weightless. It's like violently going down. So it's a little bit more
Rough?
intense. A little bit more rough. It's not as smooth as Velocicoaster. It's still smooth, but it's really like you're blasting off in a rocket kind of deal.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic is huge. As soon as you walk through the entrance, you're transported to magical Paris from the Fantastic Beasts movies. The scale of this is massive, making Diagon Alley at Universal Studios look small. There are tons of wizarding shops as you would expect, and more interactive wand games. But the most unique item here has to be the Butterbeer Crepe. You can only buy the crepe at the sit-down cafe L'Air de la Sereine. It can be fairly difficult to get a seat here if you go at the wrong time. Anytime from 10 until 3, this place is packed. The main courses here were just okay, so unless you want to wait in a super long line to eat, we'd recommend getting food in another land and then coming back here in the afternoon for a dessert crepe. Besides eating, this land is also home to an amazing show, Les Cirques Arcanus. This show is themed after the Fantastic Beasts franchise and takes place after the crimes of Grindelwald. This is a beautiful show, with the perfect mix of magic and magical beasts, and is definitely worth checking out as it's really the only attraction themed to this land. The main attraction is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Now before I get into this ride too much, I just have to say this ride feels very out of place for the land. The rest of the land is set in 1920s Paris, but this ride is set at the end of the Harry Potter series 70 years later. Universal tied in the Flu network, and that explains how you get to the British Ministry of Magic from Paris, but you still can't help feel that this is so out of place from the rest of the world, really taking away from the immersion of it all. Either way, this ride was breathtaking, but also one of the most difficult rides I've ever had to get on.
So I am standing right outside of Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry. They have a virtual queue, as a lot of you already know, but to get the virtual queue is insanely difficult. So we came for 3 days. Our first day, I was on the app all day trying to get it, didn't get it. It was like that for the entire first day. You have to stay on where you select how many people, and as long as you stay on that screen, then you'll be one step ahead of everyone else. And I kept that screen open on my phone the entire night. And then 3 o'clock came around,
and I actually got it. In order to keep that screen open, I had to like change the people from 3 to 2, 3 to 2, 3 to 2 every like 20 minutes or so, or else my phone, would like close the app because it was trying to optimize. It was like, oh, I gotta open my phone, I have to push the button, and I had to do that like every 20, 30 minutes or so. It was ridiculous.
We need to push the button.
It was insanely hard to get. It's like winning the lottery. People in the park, as they got it, they were like jumping up and screaming and celebrating. Thankfully, Universal got rid of the virtual queue for this ride, but wait times are still pretty long, and I'm sure it has technical issues like what we saw, so be ready for a long wait. The most amazing part of this ride is the entrance. You make your way to the Flute Network, and then teleport into the Ministry of Magic. This room is massive, and it's like you're actually standing in the Ministry of Magic. The whole queue, you make your way through the Ministry on your way to the trial. You move through offices and corridors until you come to the ride itself.
Informed him that she will be assisting Miss Hermione Granger today when she arrives, escorting her to the trial. He cannot believe her luck.
The ride is like a hybrid Tower of Terror and Forbidden Journey. It doesn't have any huge drops, but does have some abrupt movement as you move on your elevator through the Ministry. The mixture of screens and state-of-the-art animatronics make this ride just magical, and feels more like I'm watching a 4D movie than on a ride with how real everything looks. I wouldn't say this is the best ride in Epic, as I feel it doesn't have a great re-rideability, but the first walkthrough on the queue and the ride is truly stunning. Our final stop in Epic takes us to the eerie, dark universe. Dark Universe is Universal's love letter to the long history of classic Universal monster movies, like Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. This was the land we spent the least amount of time in, just due to trying to catch all the other rides in the park, but it probably has the best vibe in the whole park, and is far less hectic than the other areas of Epic. The theming here is so spot on, and the elements from the creepy actors strolling the streets to the windmill bursting into flames make Darkmoor come to life. Even though this is Epic's smallest land, there's just so much to explore and try, like getting some strange potion from the Burning Blade Tavern, or riding on the two main attractions at Dark Universe. The first, Curse of the Werewolf, unfortunately was closed the last 2 days we were in Epic, so we never had a chance to ride it. But it looks like it would be a really fun family coaster, and we will definitely check it out next time. The main attraction, however, was a very close second favorite for all of Epic Universe, that being Monsters Unchained. This ride also had one of the coolest queues in the park, as you make your way through Frankenstein's castle. Honestly, going through this queue and the pre-shows were just as much fun as the ride was. Also, the animatronics in the pre-shows and ride were so cool.
You're right to be afraid. Darkness lies ahead. Now is the time to abandon hope.
I am Egon.
Frankenstein's monster looks so lifelike here.
That wasn't us.
Monsters Unchained, hands down, is the best dark ride in any park, and was fun every time we rode it. The ride has a similar ride system to Forbidden Journey Islands Adventure, but thankfully without all the motion sickness, making this a top ride at Epic. Dark Universe is a great place to spend the last few hours of any day at Epic, and it really comes alive at night. But seriously though, this is true of all the park. There's a completely different feeling at night, making us wish it could be open later, as all the lands lit up look so epic. And not having the sun beating down on you all day is a huge plus as well. We had so much fun at Epic, whether it was soaring on a roller coaster, high-fiving Luigi, or even meeting your favorite Universal YouTuber. Epic had it all. It is not a perfect theme park, but it's pretty dang close, and we will definitely be going back someday. If you ever have the opportunity to go to Epic Universe, do it. But most importantly, just get out of your house and go somewhere. Make some memories.